We all know the next big challenge for Alabama is Georgia. The Bulldogs are the favorites in every headline, every show, and every betting line. But just imagine this. The game kicks off, and Alabama just smashes them. Now, picture hearing something like this on the broadcast. This is an old-fashioned country butt-kicking, and Georgia is supplying the butt. What would that do for a head coach who's only in his second year in charge? Well, it's happened before, and y'all already know that story, but in today's video, I want to invite y'all to think about something. This game against Georgia could change everything, and maybe even start a brand new dynasty. The blackout game, that's what they still call it, was the night Nick Saban and Alabama began their path to one of the most dominant eras in college football history. The blackout in Georgia. All the fans are wearing black because they're going to go to their own funeral. They're going to a funeral at Sanford Stadium, and there are plenty of signs that point to history possibly repeating itself this year. In 2008, Alabama had Nick Saban in just his second season as head coach. The team was coming off a tough year with only 7 wins and a lot of doubt surrounding the program. Nobody knew back then that a new era was about to begin. On the other side, the story was completely different. The Georgia Bulldogs came in as the heavy favorites. They were riding an 11-game winning streak, ranked number 1 in the preseason polls and loaded with talent across the board. The game was set for Sanford Stadium in Athens, and Georgia's plan was clear. Turn their house into a nightmare for Alabama. That's when the blackout game was born. The message was simple. Every fan should wear black. It was meant to be a celebration, a spectacle, an atmosphere of pure intimidation. Over 93,000 fans dressed head to toe in black, ready to celebrate another win and bury Alabama's chances for good. But then, something nobody expected happened. Alabama came out hungry. Nick Saban had his team ready for this moment, and the plan worked perfectly. I want to tell you something. There are 93,000 people in here. 92,000 of them are wearing black, and they are not making any noise at all. This was supposed to be a blackout. It's a public mugging instead. By halftime, the Crimson Tide had stunned the crowd, leading 31-0 against the heavy favorite. The stadium fell completely silent. The so-called blackout, meant to intimidate, turned into a funeral for the home team. The blackout in Georgia. All the fans are wearing black because they're going to go to their own funeral. They're going to a funeral at Sanford Stadium. And that's when the world realized Nick Saban was building something special. That victory wasn't just a win. It changed the course of Alabama football, put Saban on the map as one of the greatest coaches in history, and laid the foundation for a legendary generation, one that would go on to win championships and build one of the most dominant dynasties college football has ever seen. And in just a bit, I'll show you why there are so many similarities with this season. Because just like in 2008, Alabama isn't the favorite. Just like in 2008, we have a head coach in his second year. And just like that historic night, this game against Georgia could be the turning point for everything. Let's talk about the striking parallels between that legendary 2008 game and what we're seeing now in 2025. First off, remember Alabama beat Georgia at home last year, winning a thriller 41-34 against the number 2 Bulldogs in Alabama territory. In 2008, Alabama had Nick Saban in his second year, rebuilding after a shaky debut 7-6 season. Later vacated to 2-6. Georgia was the number 1 preseason team, undefeated, playing at home with a stadium painted all in black, the infamous blackout meant as a sign of intimidation. Fast forward to 2025, Alabama has Kalen Deboer in his second year at the helm. The Tide are not the favorites. The analysts, pundits, and most betting lines have Georgia pegged as the stronger team. The pressure is real. Fans are angry after a lackluster debut, calling it a performance with no grit or passion. Sound familiar? Just like in 2008 when the Tide were counted out, underestimated, and dismissed. Alabama this year is written off again. But looking back to 2008, Alabama walked into that hostile environment and absolutely hammered Georgia. It wasn't polite, it was a statement of power. So, here's where it gets exciting. What if this year could shock history again? Could this game, just like the blackout game, be the spark that ignites a new dynasty? Can y'all imagine it? A turnaround. That mirrors 2008, a tide transformation in 2025 that echoes what happened in 2008. We know that last week wasn't our best game, but we can only focus on this week and bringing the energy this week and being grateful for the next opportunity that we have. God has blessed us to be able to play this game of football that we've been playing since we were little kids. So, we just got to enjoy the process, enjoy the adversity that we're going through, and continue to have our faith and lean into our faith, man. I think that's the biggest thing. And then just showing up every day and just continuing to be ourselves and continue to push towards our goals that we have. We talked about being tested. We talked about having adversity. So as a leader, I'm just encouraging guys to lean into their faith a little bit more. Being able to be that leader in this time. A lot of people probably haven't been through tough adversity. So, just kind of guiding them through it. Just continuing to tell them that our goals are still the same goals that we have. We got to go out there. We got to be better. We got to work harder. We just got to be better on 3rd and 4th downs. We had opportunities to convert. We just got to be better all around as an offense. We got to strain a little bit more. We got to work a little bit harder. And it all starts in practice. You just got to go out there and play hard. I think when you go out there and you play hard, things are going to go well. So, I'm just encouraging each and every one of the offensive guys to bring their best to the games, bring their best in practices. Practices are harder than the game. So we have to make practice hard on ourselves. We got to push a little bit more. We got to finish a little bit more. That's really it. Just continuing to show the guys what it's going to take for us to get to the national championship and win the national championship. So I got to lead by example. That's what I'm doing. It starts in practice. You can't do it in the game if you don't do it in practice. You really got to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. You got to get uncomfortable within practice. On hot days when it's hot and you get tired, you got to push through that mental barrier and you got to find what's deep inside of you. You got to bring that animal out of you. I feel like we did a good job of getting open with the coverages that we had. We knew what to expect. We watched film all week. We had a great game plan. So, we just got to execute better. That's it. We just got to execute better. That's all. I think a lot of guys stepped up. I knew it was going to happen. We've been having guys step up all throughout the spring, all throughout the fall. So I wasn't surprised when the guys came in and were able to contribute to the game in any way that they could. We have the depth to do so. So that's the expectation in our room. No matter who's the starter, no matter who's after that, we all have an expectation to go out there and play hard. Commitment, discipline, toughness, pride, just playing hard. Coming out here, playing relentlessly, being consistent each and every play, showing tremendous effort, toughness. Toughness is really one of the big key factors in pride. Having pride, lining up with the guy next to you, this guy's trying to take something away from you. You gotta go out there and dominate them every single play. And that's why I'm telling. The guys y'all got to have that pride when you go out there and play. Bro, this dude is trying to stop you from feeding your family. You going to let this dude stop you from feeding your family? Nah, I can't let that happen. So everybody got to play with that edge, and that's what I'm trying to bring to the guys. I feel like everybody hops on playing hard and whatnot. It's just a lot of history within the school. A lot of guys that came and showed what it's going to take and what the standard is. So we know what it looks like, and we know what it's going to take. And as a leader, and as other leaders on the team, we have to first show those guys what it's going to take, and also encourage them and bring them along the way. Guys like Dawson, Tyler Parker, Bresford, me, Kyan Proctor, guys like that. Guys that can have an impact in the locker room. And it's not just those guys, it's everybody. Everybody has to be a leader, everybody has to hold each other accountable to what we have to get done. So, it's everybody.